everyone, this is Said from electronicspark.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make a Bluetooth connection between your Android tablet or phone and any Roomba cleaner, just something like this. Oh, I should be careful not to drive it out of the table. Yes, I got a simple app that I made by myself, and it's also available on Google Play Web Store for free. And all you have to do is owning one of these Roombas and making the Bluetooth module yourself. Or if you don't want to make it yourself, you can just buy it online. But if you make it yourself, it will be much cheaper, and you will learn something in the process. So just wait, I will bring some components and show you what we do.
Okay, let's get going. But the first thing that you should know that almost all Roomba models come with a serial port in form of mini DIN 7, and usually it's hidden from the user, but in some models you can find it just around the Roomba itself. But in this particular model, that is 530, you can find the serial port under this top cover. So if you carefully remove that, there we go, you will find the serial port connection here, and as I told you, it's the type mini DIN 7. So I'm going to show you the things that you will need to build a simple circuit to interface your Android tablet or phone to this Roomba. Okay, now it's the time to talk about the components. But the first thing you will need is something that you can solder your components on it. So you will need some sort of proto board like this, or they also call it pref board. You can get it in these cheap models. They cost like €1, or for you Yankees it's like $2. Or you get something more sophisticated that looks much better and with higher quality. And it's more expensive, but really doesn't matter. And the thing you will need is a Bluetooth module like this. This one is actually made by SparkFun. It's not very cheap. It costs, I believe, like 20 euros or $25. And yeah, so the good thing about this Bluetooth module is that they already done everything for you. You can buy the Bluetooth module itself. I mean, this thing under this label. You can buy it much cheaper, but then you have to make all the voltage regulators and connections and LEDs, indication and LEDs yourself. So I don't recommend you go with this hassle. And the next thing you will need is one of these voltage regulators. This one is LM7805 or LM7805, and what it does is converts any voltage level higher than 7 volts to 5 volts. Because the Bluetooth module works with 5 volts, you need something to regulate the power from Roomba. And I believe the Roomba is working with like something between 14 to 12 to 20 volts. And then what you need is some headers, male headers and female headers. As you saw my Bluetooth module, I already have soldered the, if you can see it, soldered the female header here, so I can easily work with it using these jumper wires. So I can just plug it in. So you will also need some sort of these jumper wires, and yeah, that's all. Now in the next step, no, before that, maybe you want to make your circuit a little bit more fancy and use a LED to indicate that you have power. So for that you need a resistor. Come on, a resistor and an LED. So in the next step, I am going to show you how to build a circuit. Okay, it's time to explain the circuit. As you can see here, I have drawn a very simple schematic. It's really simple, so I didn't even bother with doing it with the software, but if you really need that, you can find it in the link below to an actual schematic done by a software if you cannot read this. Come on, it's very easy. So basically you have a plus 14 to 20 volts of the Roomba. It's usually not less than 14 volts, sorry, and here's the ground. So what you have to do is just connect it to the LM7805, this one, and the pinout of this one is really easy. If you hold it while it's facing you, the pin on the left side is the input. That means the input of the Roomba comes here, the voltage from Roomba comes here, the middle one is ground, and the third one is the output. So if you give this pin something between 7 or up to 20 volts, so be careful, 7 volts up to 20 volts, you get 5 volts on the pin number 3. That's what I'm doing here. I've connected to the Roomba, the first pin, and the second pin, the middle pin, goes to ground. So this is same. This, when you see this sign, this means ground, so it's connected here. Then on the other side we have the plus 5 volts out. Then we have a resistor, usually 330 ohms, and an LED. So because we need this resistor to limit the current to the LED so it doesn't get burned out. Then on the end we have the Bluetooth module. Let me bring it one time again. Where is it? Come on. Anyway, I will bring it later. The Bluetooth module has this VCC. Oh yeah, it's here. So it has a VCC. That means you have to put in the 5 volts inside the header that you will solder on it. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Just bear with me a second. Okay, so you have this Bluetooth module that it has 5 connections, but you only will need 4 of them. Sorry, it has 6 connections, but you need only 4 of them. So we have a VCC that comes from the regulator that was 5 volts. Then you have to connect the ground either to here or directly to the ground of the Roomba, doesn't matter. And then you have the TX that stands for transmit, and RX that stands for receive. So something is very fishy about this TX and RX. People always confuse them. So if you look at here, this is a page from the Roomba OpenSCI datasheet. Let me fix it a little bit. So this is the serial port of the Roomba. So if you see it like this, you see the pin number 1 and pin number 2 or here you can see power. So these 2 pins are always the same. Be really careful not to connect these pins directly to anywhere. It should go to the voltage regulator first. Then we have pin number 3. As you can see here, pin number 3 is RX. So this means this will receive something. So when you build in the circuit, you have to put this transmit pin to the RX of the Roomba. So it is TX from Bluetooth to RX from Roomba. That is pin 3. And then we have same story with pin number 4 on the Roomba. That is meant for pin number 4 is for, you can see it here, TX. So this is transmits out the data from Roomba. So you have to connect it to the receive or RX of the Bluetooth module. So when you build this circuit, then we just need to download the app, or you can just make an app yourself if you are interested in programming. And yeah, then you're basically done. So in the next step, I'm going to solder this stuff on this pref port. I'm going to use this cheap one. This is just for demonstration purposes, so it's okay. So let's wait for the next part. Okay guys, this is time for some serious action, and by that mean I mean soldering the components that I told you on the perf board, and fix everything up according to the schematic. And yeah, when it's finished, I will give it a test and prove you that it's gonna work. Yeah. Okay guys, I just finished making the circuit, as you saw. So it doesn't look very good, but it will certainly do the job. As you can see here on this side, I have used the, don't know if you can see it, yeah, this side, this is the input side, and I used the 4-pin male header here. So if you look at it from this side, you can see, please focus, yeah, the first one on the right is the input from Roomba, I mean the voltage input, and I have soldered it with this red wire. And the second one, that one is here, is the ground, and ground is connecting to the middle pin of the voltage regulator, and the red one, that is the input voltage from Roomba, comes and goes to the first pin of the regulator. And then we have a green wire and a yellow wire that goes to the male header here on this side. So this is where I am going to plug the Bluetooth module in. You can see the black one is the ground, the red one is plus 5 volt that comes from the voltage regulator. And let me bring the Bluetooth module. I'm going to plug it in like this. So it will be something like this. It doesn't look very good, but it will do the job. Okay, you can see here. Yes, the first pin is the VCC. The second one is clear to send, that we are not going to use it. The third one is ground. The next one is TX or transmit, and the next one is RX or receive, and the last one is a request to send. This, so we are not going to use request to send or clear to send. This is out of our topic here. But before let me zoom in a little bit. Yeah. Focus. Before turning on the circuit, it's always a good idea to check for continuity or any shortage between the critical pins. For example, I'm going to check for a shortage between the red wire and the black wire that are for voltage in and ground. So if they are shorted, then we are screwed. So let's see. I'm going to test the okay, I can turn it on. Let me fix the camera angle a little bit. Yes. Okay, now we are in continuity mode. It's a little bit hard to get it's okay. I'm going to test the pins, doing voltage in and ground, so I don't see any shortage. It doesn't beep. Going to voltage and the first pin of the voltage regulator, so it should beep, right? And the third one, it shouldn't beep because there's an internal diode inside the voltage regulator that will prevent shortage from the input to output. Now I'm going to check for the ground pin to the voltage in of the regulator. So we see no beep. The middle one, yeah, so it means it's fine. And the output of the regulator, no beep, it means it's fine. And yeah, I'm going to do it for the header that I have done here. Yeah. It's the ground. The ground is connected to ground. Yes. The VCC is connected to. Sorry, it's connected to the +5 of the voltage regulator. Yeah, right. And the yellow wire from here. The yellow wire is going to be our transmit. So the yellow wire is transmit. So let's check it out. The yellow wire should connect to the yellow wire here. Yes. And the green one is receive. I'm going to check that also. Yeah. So everything is working fine. I'm going to power up the circuit before, because I also, as I told you in the schematic, I also installed the a resistor and an LED too. So when the power gets on here, the LED should turn on. So before connecting the Bluetooth module to this board, I'm going to check that. So these cables come from my voltage supply, so it's 12 volts, so we should get 5 volts at the output of the regulator. I'm going to try it now. I'm just connecting the plus 12 volts. It will simulate the Roomba power or battery. So as you can see, now I have the LED is on, so it means I have power. Now I'm going to check for using the multimeter again. I'm going to check for if I have 5 volts at the voltage regulator output pin. Okay, I'm going to set this on DC. Okay, I'm going to connect this to sorry, it's a little bit shaky. I will fix it now. Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to check here the output and ground. So we read here 4.8 volts, 4.9 volts, so it's okay. If you wanted this to be exactly 5 volts, then we had to use some sort of decoupling capacitors, but since the Bluetooth module comes with its own voltage regulator circuit, so we don't need to care about that. So it seems that we have the right voltage here, and we can now connect the Bluetooth module onto this board, then connect this board to Roomba using this jumper wires. So please wait. Okay guys, I have put the circuit into Roomba's serial interface, and as you can see, the Bluetooth module's red LED is flashing. It means it's available for 60 seconds to be discovered. So let me bring the iPad, my Android tablet. Okay, now we have the tablet. I'll bring up the app. I've already paired this with the tablet. So what I'm going to do now is going to connect. Okay, now I'm connected. I'm going to turn on the Roomba and going to start the CI. Yeah. As you can see, turn left, turn right. Then I have these options to turn the brushes, side brush, vacuum on and off. And here, if you touch it to more, then Roomba will go faster. If you touch it to the down, it will go faster backward, left and right. And if you touch here and drag to the left or right, Roomba will go forward while it's going to right or left. The same story with the down. Yeah, this is the basic function of the app. It's not completed yet, so it's not available on the Google Web Store yet, because I'm going to make some changes to the UI, make it more nicer. Then I will upload it. But if you want to, after you have built a circuit, there are like 2 or 3 more free apps that will allow you to connect to the Roomba with Bluetooth. So you can go ahead and try those apps. When I finish my own app, then I will let you know, because my app is going to be the best one. Remember that. Anyway, I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and if you liked it, please give it a thumb up like this. Or if you didn't like it, don't give a thumb down, because I will go sad. And yeah, and please subscribe. Yeah, see you next time. Bye.